Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have the Moto G and this is the Samsung Galaxy Grand, and I feel that both of these are very good mid-range devices and we're going to compare the differences between them. This is the Moto G that is made by Motorola. It's not yet launched in India, but it's going to soon launch in India. Physically, if you look at it, the first thing that will strike is definitely the Grand 2 is a larger device. It sports a 5.25 inch screen, whereas the Moto G has a 4.5 inch screen. Now coming to internals, actually both of them are running on the same chipset. That's the Qualcomm based Snapdragon 400 chipset, and it's having a quad core processor, and the GPU is also the same on them, that is the Adreno 305. So in terms of that, both have very similar hardware, but the Moto G has just 1 GB of RAM, whereas on the Samsung Grand 2 we have 1.5 GB of RAM. But one thing that is a bit different is that as this is a Samsung product, it runs the Samsung TouchWiz UI, which is a custom skin by Samsung, and we also have a lot of additional software that is available on the Grand 2. Some of you will like it, some of you won't like. For example, we have this features like magazine view, etc., and you cannot disable those things. On the other hand, this Moto G is very close to stock Android experience that you'll get. Actually, Motorola hasn't installed a lot of apps, only just we have 2 small Motorola apps, and out of the box the interface looks very close to stock Android. Another thing is that this Moto G will come with Android 4.4, that's the latest version, that is KitKat. But on the other hand, this Grand 2 comes with the Android version 4.3, that is Jelly Bean. The Grand 2 will also get the KitKat update, but only time will tell when we'll get it, because Samsung is not that fast with updates of their mid-range Android phones. So that's one big difference. Now physically, as you can see, obviously the Grand 2 is a lot bigger. One more difference is that in the camera department there is a bit of a difference. The Motorola Moto G has just a 5 megapixel camera, and the video recording also is just restricted to 720p. On the other hand, the Grand 2 gets an 8 megapixel camera, and it can record video up to 1080p. So in the camera department, the Grand 2 has a leg up. One thing I did notice is that, and this was actually a bit surprising, the Grand 2 does not have a secondary microphone for noise cancellation, but this Moto G has a secondary mic for noise cancellation. And let me talk about the size again. This is a 4.5 inch screen and this is a 5.2 inch screen. But I do feel that the Grand 2 is actually pretty big, and if you compare it with some other Android phones, for example, this is the Samsung Galaxy S4, and just look at it. The Grand 2 actually is a lot bigger even than the Galaxy S4. Let me place the Galaxy S4 above it, and as you can see, not only in the height department but also in the width department, I would say the Grand 2 is a lot bigger. And I would say if you have small hands, definitely the Moto G is the more comfortable device to use. But again, if you are okay with large screen sizes, definitely the Grand 2 will be suited for you. One more thing that I did notice is that this Moto G has a front facing LED notification light, but the Grand 2 does not have any physical LED notification light. Now coming to batteries, the battery on this Grand 2 is user replaceable. You can open up this back cover. You can also open the back cover of this Moto G, but the battery is not user replaceable. The Grand 2 has a 2600 milliampere battery, and it's a dual SIM phone. And I did all my testing with just a single SIM, but we do also have a micro SD card slot on the Grand 2. On the Moto G, we do not have any micro SD card slot. And also the battery is non-user replaceable. Though the back cover can open, you can just insert a your SIM card. You don't have any micro SD card slot, and the battery is 2070 milliampere battery. In terms of battery life, I would say both of the phones perform brilliantly. You can easily get up to about 2 days of battery life with medium usage on both these phones, and even if you are a heavy user, you should be able to get 1 day's worth of battery life on both these devices. But if you're an extremely heavy user, the advantage goes to the Samsung Galaxy Grand because it has a user replaceable battery. Also regarding storage, here it's a mixed solution. The Grand 2 only comes in one variety that has just 8 GB of internal storage, but on the Moto G you do get 2 variants. the 8 GB or the 16 GB variant. Again, the advantage is that internal storage is kind of important, because on many of these Android phones, the games and apps that you install generally reside on the internal storage. So regarding internal storage, the Moto G has a leg up because you can easily purchase the 16 GB variant. But on the other hand, this Grand 2, we only get the 8 GB variant. But if you are a person who likes to carry a lot of, extra media on the micro SD card, definitely the Grand 2 would be more suitable for you. Another thing I did notice is that this Moto G does support USB OTG cable. But on the other hand, the Grand 2 does not support USB OTG cable. And now coming to the screen, both have actually a 720p HD screen, and I would say both Samsung as well as Motorola did a very good job. The screen quality is excellent, and also outdoor visibility is very good. Both of them have an auto brightness sensor, so you can just keep it on auto brightness and just leave it, and it performs brilliantly. And the viewing angles also are great. Actually, the screen quality, I've shown this phone to a lot of people, and none of them had an issue with the screen quality. So regarding screen quality, I would say both these phones do an excellent job. Now coming to one thing where this Grand 2 goes ahead is in the cellular voice reception quality. If I would have to rate, the best is 10. I would say the call quality that I got with this Grand 2 would be about 9 out of 10. But on the other hand, with this Moto G, the call quality was not that great. I would rate it anywhere around about 5 out of 10. It's not that it's totally bad, but many times I noticed that the call quality just gets a little bit muffled on the Moto G. And I did check this with a lot of other users also, and they also had a similar experience. So it's not just the unit that I'm having an issue. So definitely, if you are a person who makes a lot of voice calls, definitely the Grand 2 will be a better choice, because the cellular phone call quality is definitely better on the Grand 2. Coming to one more thing is that Motorola says that this Moto G has nano coating, so it's kind of water resistant. It's not totally waterproof, but if accidentally water falls on this, the phone will continue to work without any issues because it has nano coating. But we don't have anything like that on the Grand 2. Now coming to the build quality and feel, again here I would say it's kind of a personal opinion, but I felt that the build quality of this Moto G was excellent. In your palm, it fits exactly in your palm. It's very comfortable to hold. It's not very wide, and overall in terms of build quality, I would say Motorola did a very good job. This phone gives you that premium feel of the build, and it's actually very nice to hold. And I would say if this phone falls also, it won't have any problem. Another thing is that the front glass on this Moto G is Corning Gorilla Glass 3. But on the other hand, it's typical Samsung on the Grand 2. It's completely plasticky, though I didn't have a problem. And actually Samsung does not specify the type of glass that they have. Definitely it's not a Gorilla Glass. So in terms of build quality, I would say my vote would go to the Moto G. Now coming to camera again, as I told you, the Grand 2 has an edge over here. The Moto G has just a 5 megapixel camera, but the Grand 2 has an 8 megapixel camera. Also, I would say in terms of picture quality, the Grand 2's camera performed a little bit better compared to the Moto G's camera. Another thing is that this Grand 2 can record video up to 1080p, but again, we don't have any sort of stabilization, so you have to have steady hands. So in terms of camera department, definitely the Grand 2 wins. Now coming to overall UI and speed, again as I told you, this Grand 2 has the custom Samsung TouchWiz UI, and for the most part both of the phones are completely lag free. They perform brilliantly, but sometimes I do notice a little bit of stutteriness on the Grand 2, and that I would say attributes to the TouchWiz UI. Obviously both the phones perform well. I also notice sometimes a little bit of stuttering here on the Moto G, but it's not like it is happening every time. When I do heavy multitasking, switching from one task to another might take half a second or so. But again, both these phones actually perform very well. So in terms of overall performance, I would say both of them are on par. Also, I did a lot of gaming with both these devices, the Moto G as well as this Grand 2, and you can check out the gaming videos I made for both, and both of them perform actually pretty good. Even with heavy games like Asphalt 8, etc., if you keep the graphics settings at medium level, both of them could play those games without any issues. Now, coming down to the pricing, we don't know the exact price of the Moto G in India, but I feel the Grand 2 is slightly overpriced in India. It's currently selling for around 23,000 in India, and I feel it's a little bit high. Fair price would be below around 20,000 or below, because you can get the Galaxy S3, which is a better device than the Grand 2, for around 23,000. The Moto G is expected to be around 15,000 for the 8GB variant, and the 16GB should be around 18 to 19,000 or so. So these are some of the major differences between the Moto G and the Grand 2. Again, it comes down to personal preference. If you are a person who likes large screen size phones and are okay with the large size, I would definitely say the Grand 2 would be your choice. In terms of battery life, I would say both perform very similarly, so that's not an issue. Also, I would say that if you are a person who takes a lot of voice calls, then definitely the Grand 2 wins, because the cellular call quality was much better on the Grand 2. But on the other hand, if you're a person with small hands and you like the compact form factor of this Moto G, then the Moto G wins. So again, as I told you, it comes down to personal preference. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that this video will help you in making the right decision between the Moto G or the Grand 2. That's it for now. This is Ranjit. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next video.